Thank you for joining us once again here on Co-op Core. I'm Zach, as you probably already know from the beautiful and sultry sound of my voice. I'm joined today by the usual host, Hiro.
Hi, guys.
And an extra special guest we are very glad to have this evening, Sean.
It's very kind of you. Again, thank you. I need new material.
Don't ever fucking do that again.
We are enjoying the wonderment, the decadence of Japan World Cup 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the trilogy has been completed. We can all finally die.
That was like really weirdly perfectly timed.
Cinema Kaiba presents Japan World Cup. The Japan Racing Association in Tokyo puts this event on every year, and ladies and gentlemen, we have some fine competitors for you here tonight.
Absolutely. If you guys have not seen the first two Japanese horse racing, stop this video, go watch those first, and then come back. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at these lineups. There's going to be 9 horses this time. It's going to be a little bit different than last time. We got our normal Gin Shadi boy. He's kind of taken a real hold into that Onigiri walk.
The swag.
And as we all know, that is ridden by Matsuoka Masami, our boy.
Walk like a horse.
Absolutely.
Walk like a horse.
Walk like an
like a
Egyptian?
horse.
No. Walk like a horse.
Walk like a horse, live like a man.
All right, so now, much to Sean's excitement, Super Pheromone, the sisters have gotten together.
Red latex stockings on the horse. Amazing.
Absolutely, so we have Super Pheromone happening
Elegant beauty.
on this race this time, which is going to lead us into number 3, one of my personal favorites, Choksenban Cho. You know what, the blonde wasn't doing it enough, so he decided to go with that red on the 3 and red on his hair.
It looks good.
It does. I think it works for him.
Inspired undoubtedly by Super Pheromone.
Yeah, probably. I mean, who wouldn't be?
I know
Certainly
I am.
me.
And look at that relaxed posture.
All right, now here is one of the newcomers, Ninja Sniper. All right, here we go.
Well, a
He's
nation that's
terribly
known not
majestic.
for its ninjas or its snipers.
absolutely, yeah. Sergei Putin absolutely taking a side route and going ahead and falling into the world of ninjutsu to represent his country.
Actually, the Russians are known for their snipers.
Oh, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not their ninjas.
I didn't
Now
realize that
number
was the
5.
Wait a minute.
flag.
Sir Culkin Jr. is not going to be on PP Donut. He's going to be on SeaWorld this time.
The world.
SeaWorld.
The
Yes,
majestic world
absolutely.
of
No
the-
relation.
Interesting.
I'm
That
calling
thing
that.
has
I'm
probably
calling
eaten
that one
worlds of its day.
dogfish.
Dogfish.
This
Well,
is called Alexander.
All right, so that one is actually called Toro Yan Hosu, or as I like to call him, Trojan Horse.
from Sweden, no less.
Yes, Mwai Songkhon, who seems to switch nationality on the drop of a hat,
Yeah,
has
he's
ditched the
got
draft, has
Brazilian.
ditched, yeah.
He's got the Brazilian jogging, but he's.
All right, Uma. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Uma is another word for Yeti.
Interesting.
So yeah, Yeti, ridden by his jockey Dorji.
Why is it blurred out again?
Well, because nobody's really ever seen the Abominable Snowman, have they?
That's true, and it is copywritten. So.
Of course. All right. So then we're gonna go into our 8th competitor, which is gonna be Haribote 3.0, reinforcing his barrel with
Aptly
another
named.
barrel and another set of legs. You know, maybe they finally have the formula that it's gonna take to win this.
Not one barrel, but 1.5.
Harabote 3.0, designed by the same person who
All
created
right.
the human
Now,
centipede.
you know what? There has been a craze over Haribote lately, and it is from Japan, so America has their answer to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mecha Haribote! Yes, written by Tyler Arthurs. You know what? I've seen enough, what are they called? Kaiju movies. To see that Mechagodzilla, you know what? This is going to be the supreme fight right here. Is going to be between these two forces.
He's already
Is
moving
it
his hands pretty
kaiju or
fast to
Toho?
walk.
Toho is the studio.
That's
Kaiju is the type of film which refers to like a giant monster.
Ah, those are my favorites. I like to give a shout out to my favorite monster movie, Godzilla vs. Mothra vs. Rodan, All Out Monsters Attack. I'm sorry the title took so long to say, but please check it out.
Now, you know what? One of my favorite movies actually isn't a Godzilla movie, but was featured once in one, and that is going to be Gamera, the Invincible. Gamera's a turtle. He is fucking awesome, and he flies through the most unconventional means, pulling his body parts in and ejecting flames through the ports of his turtle shell. He rotates and flies through the air. It's pretty incredible.
That's beautiful. I have to watch that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine the momentum one could build up. Entire cities destroyed in an instant.
Absolutely. All right, so Sean, we're going to go to give you the first blood on this one.
Well-
Who do you think is going to take this very first blood victory?
I think this one's fairly obvious with Super Pheromone.
Super Pheromone. You know what? I didn't even really have to ask.
No, you didn't.
All right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I'm going to have to go with my boy, Ninja Sniper.
And I'm going with Culkin Jr. riding Seaman.
SeaWorld.
We actually get a good shot of the Yeti here.
That is
whereas
absolutely
we
true.
could
When
not
you're
see it
actually
before.
in the moment, we're not going to be able to have that pixelation there because we're going to need to be able to tell
Indeed.
in the event of a photo finish who comes in first. So let's go ahead and take a good look at Uma right now.
There he is.
Yeah, take a look at that with that rider. That's kind of like an unconventional position, but I think that gives him a really good vantage point instead of being in like a saddle on the back. Good move, in my opinion.
I think the Yeti probably would be better off holding the jockey and using him as a weapon during
Now,
the
here's an
race.
interesting choice between Mecha Haribote only has his 2 sets of legs, where Haribote 3.0 has a 3. Let's see which one of these is going to make it. And it's going to be none of them, unfortunately. Yeah, you see, I mean, they're
Legs
still
still
trying to do
kicking.
that pedal there at the end. But alright, you know what? But the
Well,
concentration by
well.
Ninja Sniper, everybody's doing all this crazy stuff. He's got that
Uma's
focus
winding up.
locked in.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
really making that crosswind, kind of like a helicopter, giving him that extra edge around the turn,
I
making
think
it really
he's
nice and
getting
tight.
ready to hit somebody.
I'm terrified.
Absolutely. We got planking going on over there on the Trojan horse, aptly named due to the fact that it is
now
on
Super
a wooden
Pheromones
horse.
striking each other, the riders, and the
Absolutely.
horse is extending.
Taking a page out of Hollywood Limousine's book.
Indeed, I don't know. If one of them were to whip me, my horse might extend too.
Oh my god. Oh, here we go. Not only are they whipping it, they are
Oh,
pumping
baby.
it. Here
Night,
we go.
everybody.
Let's go.
There's nothing else that can happen over here. They're taking off into the stratosphere.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You know what?
boxing
That sight,
Charleston.
Yeah,
and
that sight really gave him that momentum to go.
I see. He was distracted before.
And
oh.
into the ground. You know what? It was a valiant attempt, but you know what? Can you really blame him? But it's with
my
the
God.
substitution jutsu! Oh my
Impossible.
god!
Oh no.
Ninja Sniper, you clever
What
son of a
the-
bitch!
That was
What
amazing.
happened?
That
I've
was
never seen anything like that in my
Oh
life.
my god.
And I am taking that one.
I
Thank you, Ninja
cannot.
Sniper. Zach is very deeply disturbed by that one. That waveform
That
is going
was a
absolutely
disturbing
out of
match.
control on that wavefile. I'm gonna have to tone it down, but I don't care because Ninja Sniper took it home for me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the first blood on this next round. I think I am gonna have to go with our boy, that Trojan horse. That kind of
good
you know,
choice.
manufacturing doesn't come easy.
The murder slits are a supreme advantage. It makes it go a lot faster.
Absolutely. So what do you think is going on since you can't take my Marvel Engineering?
Gin Sherry Boy.
All right, Geen Shoddy Boy over for Zach.
Shoddy Boy.
So who is that gonna leave for Sean?
I'm gonna go with Mecha Haribote.
Mecha Haribote,
This
pretty
time.
good choice.
Yeah, I love. It's a marvel of modern engineering. That thing, absolutely beautiful.
All right, here we go. Taking a look over at Uma again. Can't really ever get enough of finally getting to see, you know, the man, the legend.
I don't
Yeah,
understand
bomb-
what the jockey is wearing on Uma. It looks like he's
It's
just
very like matte colors. I don't think you'd want to wear a lot of colors around something that's lived in seclusion for so long. It could maybe excite it and incite violence.
That's
true.
Fair point.
I mean, all it's seeing is red and white.
Absolutely.
Gray, its entire
You see,
life.
that's why I think that the Trojan horse really has a
Wow.
good position.
Oh,
Look
Oh,
at that! They
it
finally
seems
made it
they've
around
learned.
the bend.
It seems they've learned.
gentlemen, this
Yeah,
has never
legends in
happened
the making.
before in
You know what?
the
Sean is actually
history.
still in this.
Yeah, we all are.
Oh my god, alright, here we go. Yeah,
It's
they're doing
anyone's
that
game
move.
at this point.
Look at that, that's really what it took on Haribote 3.0. An interesting
look
move.
at that
I'm gonna
focus
go ahead, I'm
on
gonna
Ninja
flash,
Sniper.
I'm gonna, you know, rewind this one a little bit right here. Look at the way that he comes out of the horse onto the side there, that's awesome. Alright, now back to the action. We got Chuck Senbancho up in front, but we do have both Haribote brothers coming in. We got the flying move coming out of there.
yes.
Sparks flying out of his mouth. Oh, but what has
them
Haribote
burn.
3 got up his
Let
sleeve?
the
He's pumping
world
out
burn.
air out of his mouth.
Wait a minute,
And a
he just
fourth man
created
comes
another
out of
human
it.
being.
But the
Oh,
drill
no.
is coming out of Mecha Haribote.
Oh,
This is
yes.
coming down to
Here we
a
go.
battle
Oh,
of
no.
death. Oh, and he's absolutely done.
Thank
Mecha
you, ladies and
Haribote taking it for the win.
Victory
wow, that is
through
incredible.
murder.
That was amazing.
Victory through murder. You know what? I don't think I would have ever thought that that would be a phrase
But
that would be okay. But you know, he
Sean
took
did
it.
notice that, yes, Haribote 3.0 did garnish an extra set of legs.
You know,
that
I wonder
time.
where it was hidden the entire time. You know, it's kind of hard to kind
That's a
of like
very
maybe
good
they're
question.
contortionists.
Maybe those weren't legs.
I don't know.
Maybe you're right.
Oh my god.
Maybe they were tentacles.
Oh my god, it could have been 8. You know what? 8 legs. Maybe it was an octopus in there this whole time. We
My
don't really know.
God.
Haribote octopi.
But all right, you know what? Where's that gonna leave you, Zach?
I'm gonna go with Seaman one more time.
Sea World. We're gonna go with that. Sean.
Give me the guy with the pompadour, baby.
All right, we got Chuck Sembancho, low rider over there for Sean, and I think I am gonna have to go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with Super Pheromone.
a wise decision. decision.
Absolutely. You can never go wrong with two girls who are trying to reenact scenes from the Human Centipede.
Two girls, one horse.
Something like good old coprophagia.
All right, now you know what? I will have to say that that choice by Zach was pretty smart. I mean, to be in 5th place on the opening stretch on a manatee is a pretty awesome move. Considering we're from Orlando, we actually have manatees over here.
You certainly do, but I think that's a sea lion. Yeah, I'm going to agree
Is that
with
really?
Zach.
Oh my god, I thought that was a manatee.
Indeed, a manatee has no place in a horse race.
I mean, you know what? Do any of these really have a place in a horse race?
Absolutely, but manatees do not.
A dugong. Okay, all right.
Also,
Man,
he's
Like, look, oof.
Well, that was
Well, you know
to
what?
be
But you did have your moment in the sun, so I guess it's okay if this happened.
I don't mind.
Absolutely. All right, so let's hope that Super Pheromone can kind of keep this position right over here. That's going to be a really good position to make it on that home stretch.
Come on, Frankie, baby.
Yeah,
or
but you know what?
Chuck
Choksen
or
Mancho,
whatever
he
your
doesn't seem
name
too
is.
phased by this. He's very
Of course
relaxed.
not. Yeah,
That's a good
he's
mindset to be in when you're racing.
Completely and supremely confident
All right, now
as
the
he goes
Trojan horses
forward.
kind of have like the opposite approach. But take a look at Ninja Sniper.
Well-
I'm going to kind of zoom in on there. He actually had a substitution doll out on his horse.
Interesting.
But, Choksen Mancho
Oh,
does
no,
He
you're
plans
right.
to
Look,
make
he
use of
does.
it
He's got a
later.
wooden, he's got a
Absolutely.
wooden log
Where
on
is
the
he?
horse.
He could
So
be anywhere.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Oh, now he
Hollywood Limousine is really.
Whoa.
He's got that
Whoa.
wheelie going on. What's happening? Uma beating the horse to death with his own rider.
Oh my
in
goodness.
Front. Now, how is that going to count? Is that going to be for Uma?
I believe
I think
Sean
so,
did
yeah.
suggest that strategy.
I don't know that I did, but
No,
the
you said he should.
No,
hit that
Uma
horse
did
with the
take
rider.
it.
Use the rider as a
That's
weapon.
true, but I never suggested that he actually ride the wooden
But
horse.
you know what?
No,
he,
you
he
didn't.
did say to use his rider as a weapon, but he used another rider as a weapon. That's actually an interesting kind of choice that he made there,
An even better strategy.
Absolutely.
It really worked out for him.
You know, this really calls into question the propulsion system on the wooden horse.
That is true. Now, I do know that it has wheels.
It does.
So there has to be a driving force that's going to go ahead and make that glide over there. So maybe we can get a glimpse of that action
I hope we
at the
can.
start of this race.
This is suspect here.
Let's see. That's going to bring us down, I think, over to
Curious.
myself, actually. So I'm going to go with Choksen Bancho. Zach?
Jin Shari boy.
Gin Shadi Boy. And Sean, who's looking to lead for you?
Let's go with the Trojan horse here.
All right.
Yeah.
Got that Trojan horse over there. Maybe he's going to come back for revenge.
Well, he moves on his own accord.
That
See?
is true. All right, so we got SeaWorld coming up over there. Now, are we sure that's not a manatee?
I'm
We're sure.
Okay,
We're
all right.
absolutely
Well, let's go
certain.
ahead and look. Now, we can't really see any kind of propulsion force happening from this. So maybe there's like kind of engine in there, maybe like a drivetrain that we can't see in those front
I
Certainly
legs.
think
a
it's,
possibility.
there's got to be guys hiding in there, like running, like the Flintstones, right?
Well, I mean,
Their
the
legs
Honey
don't have a
Bote
lot of
has it
room to
like
move.
that, and you'd be able to see those legs there.
That's
Yeah.
how they beat the Carpathians.
All right, so here we go, coming around the bend. Let's see if Haribote and Mecha Haribote can do it, and they don't. All right.
Yet again.
You know what, but you gotta give them A for
Sad.
effort. See those little pedals still trying to make it even though they crashed.
Still kicking.
Yeah,
Even
that's
without
absolutely
somebody manipulating the levers.
Yeah, now
Very
Uma's
strange.
got that windmill action going on. That could come to make 2 wins in a row for him.
Let's see how this plays out, ladies.
All right,
and
we got the
gentlemen.
double whips. Look at the head spin on Trojan Horse.
That's amazing.
I have not seen that. Look at that. He's not
That is
even
some
moving
very
up
good
on there.
Absolutely amazing.
That is incredible. That could
I think we
mean
found that
something big.
propulsion
His
system.
body's got to be on a lazy Susan or something.
Absolutely. All right, up. We do
Yeah.
know this pose from before. The double close could be coming up. There we go.
Oh, ladies
Gotta
and
love
Elongated
that.
force. All right, none of us have super pheromone. Let's see where this is going to lead.
Well, you guys might not
Oh,
have
there's
super
nobody on those
pheromones.
horses except for PP Donut and Mr. Koken Jr.
Interesting. Well,
Oh,
well,
there
well.
is absolutely nothing on. They are bearing all.
The full Monty, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course, with that little fan and hat
The
action.
most
And you know what? We got Sir Koken
distracting
Jr.
Koken
move.
Jr. even
Wow.
getting into the action.
You know what? Super Pheromone did take it. Hopefully they're not gonna take it right here. We might have to cut back in a few minutes, guys.
I'd like
Now
to
that's
see
gonna
that.
be that's gonna be 2 losses for us. So we've got 9 points on the line for this next round. Really put Zach in a favorable spot as he's got first choice on this round.
I'm gonna go with Culkin Jr. riding Seaman.
Colkin Jr. riding Seaman. All right. So we got SeaWorld over for Zach. Sean?
Give me the Trojans again.
Trojans again.
Please.
You know what? After seeing a display like that with those 2 girls, going the Trojan is never a bad idea.
Good night, everybody.
Feel free to let that laugh out, Sean. All right, I think
You're
I am
absolutely
gonna
right.
go
I can
with my
attest to
boy, a ninja sniper. I think he's been kind of laying low as a ninja was. But 5 rounds in, now is gonna be a good time for him to make his move.
I think we'll see something from good old SeaWorld this time.
I'm really not hoping
just
so
look at
because we've
that.
got 9 points on the line. Right now, Zach is not on the board. Only you and I are with 3 points each. But that
true.
could really put him too far up front for us to catch him.
Oh my goodness, it's really anyone's race at this point, though. They've got to be getting tired out there.
That is true. I mean,
Especially these two.
yeah, those guys. That really goes to show that endurance right there. But as much as Haribote 3.0 has his rider just kind of steering him, Mecha Haribote does have his rider contributing to the action.
That's true.
I think that could give him that edge over him.
Not this
Nope.
time. Not
Yeah,
this
that
time.
high point on there. He's really taking a spill. Alright, here we go. Truck Senbancho is in the lead, closely followed by Gin Shari Boy and Super Pheromone. Let's see where this is going to go down in the home stretch.
It'd be nice
Alright,
if
well,
nobody won for
Trojan
once.
does have his little bicycle kick happening. Maybe he's trying to push some of that air with him behind him. That's going to be some of that powertrain happening in there.
Trojan Horse has been practicing in the wind tunnels a lot this season.
That is true. We
And
have been seeing him do a
Puma's
lot of
coming
that.
forward
But look
with
at
good
Ninja
old
Sniper.
chest
He
beat.
does
Oh my
have...
goodness.
Ninja Sniper does have that mat in front of him,
I
kind of
can't
making him
even
almost
see it.
invisible.
I can't
Camouflage
even
curtain,
see it.
baby.
Where is he?
Absolutely. What is Truck Senbancho attached to this time? That is not a
Interesting.
cardboard car, my friends. That is a fully operational truck. And what is this? It's opening on the side. There is a woman in there.
Calling that a truck is like calling a mouse an ant.
Oh my god.
That is
Oh
wings.
my god.
This is
That is a
karaoke.
Japanese singing idol. She is giving us a show.
My goodness, what a distraction, but a pleasant one to be sure. But
No kidding.
who really won this, I wonder? I mean, to bring a truck out on the stage
No
like that.
kidding, but you know what? You have to give it to Truck Senbancho. He is absolutely an entertainer.
Oh yeah, it's very core. And you got to appreciate that.
All right,
this
you know
sort of
what?
thing.
That is 3 down for us. That means this
man.
round is going to be worth 12 whopping points.
That's a lot of points,
That's
man.
incredible.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but you know what? You're going to have to know what to do because it is your call on this one, Sean.
You know, it hasn't worked for me in the past, but I think I'm gonna go with the Trojans again.
All right, you know what? Third time's a charm. There is
Yeah.
a saying for that. All right, you know what?
Man, the crowd
Who
is
do I
loving
want to
this
go
today.
with? You know what? I did like the move that Ninja Sniper was doing with that camouflage.
It was nice.
I'm gonna go with him again. Are you gonna stick with SeaWorld? We're just gonna make this another
Let's
round.
do it, Colton
Let's just
Jr.
stick to it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Yeah,
We've
no
seen
one
him on the
expected
radio,
that
we've
drop.
heard him on the TV show. Colton Jr. is coming out.
Now you know what? Culkin and his family have been on this. They've all been veterans, but as far as I'm concerned, for Ninja Sniper, he is a newcomer. We don't really know what to expect of him. And the Trojan Horse and his rider, he has switched up his mount every single round. So maybe he found the winning one this time.
He found a perfect strategy.
Absolutely.
We'll find out after we find out what happened to the Haribotes.
Yeah, the Haribote twins, as it were. Well, let's go ahead and see how they fare coming up around the bend. We know that is a
suspect
deadly
they'll
situation
die.
for them.
I suspect they'll die.
Yes.
Now let's see. They could pull out that the miracle move that they did before.
That's
I
true.
hope they
Maybe
do.
lean
I
it
hope
out.
They pull this off.
Oh, not gonna happen. You know, it's interesting to see that Haribote 3.0 is really what causes the demise of Mecha Haribote. Maybe if he wasn't behind him,
That's
he
true.
could have actually, made it around that bend.
Well, Mecha Haribote is a bit of a robot. Even its rider, there's some speculation as to his origins. And he was built with unfortunately, a broken, maybe, I don't know, a broken processor. And I really can't go on anymore.
I am deeply impressed by the dance moves on Trojan Horse this round.
Absolutely. Now,
I
Chuck
think that was the
Senbancho.
single ladies dance.
Oh, really?
I'm not 100%.
That is very interesting. Oh, now he's using his
Interesting.
mimic jutsu, and he's going over there. He's copying Gin Shiny Boy. I think it's giving him a little bit of an edge, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for him to take it. But he's got it again. He's using the elongation
He's mimicking
technique.
all
That is a
horses.
throw out to Hollywood Limousine. He's got the giraffe. He's gonna take it. This is gonna be all for me.
Oh my
He's got-
goodness.
Yeah,
That's
here
what's
we
gonna
go.
work
Knock
right
them out
here.
of
Here
the
we go.
race. Ninja Sniper, take this. Seal my victory. Oh no, he's
No,
got Haribote.
not a good idea.
Don't do this.
Not a good
That is
idea.
the worst person you could have taken. No, Ninja Sniper. You flew
Can you
too
believe
close to the
this?
sun. I'm gonna have to rename you to Icarus.
Yeah.
just
And he
changes
reverted to his
back.
original
Ran
form.
out of his chakra there. So that is actually going to Chuck Senbancho once again.
Senbancho.
That is 4 losses in a row. An unprecedented 15 points that are going to be up for grabs this time.
I don't know. How many more races do we even have?
I don't know, but you know what? We're on race number 7 right now, so this is gonna be a lot. I think whoever wins this, the other two are gonna have to band together to take him down.
That's true.
So this is gonna be
Good
my
idea.
choice. I am gonna have to go with SeaWorld on this one. I went with Ninja Sniper twice. I wasn't really satisfied with his performance.
I'm gonna go with Haribote.
Haribote, you're going with Haribote 3.0? All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for my faux pas during the last match. However, I'm going to go with the Trojans this time.
All right, Trojans.
Again,
This time there's going to be
4th
4
time
in a row.
is a charm.
Yeah, you know what? It is the 5th round. It's the 4th round that he's doing Trojan in a row. There's a lot on the line, so you want to stick with somebody that you're familiar with.
Of course,
There's my boy SeaWorld.
familiarity breeds contempt. they
That is
say.
true.
But I have no contempt for this beautiful, beautiful marvel.
I'm hoping that doesn't really translate into the rider versus his mount. Now, he seems like a happy guy. He does definitely do a lot of dance moves on there, but I hope that, it's not an act of aggression towards them that could really make him slip up in the end.
No, not at all, not at all. Everybody within the mount, they all love the guy on top, and it's going to be great for him.
Yeah,
you'll see.
as long as they exist on the same page, they're like acting as a hive mind, they can take this. Haribote, on the other hand,
I've seen him come back from worse.
that is true. That is true. Now, that is a 2-car pileup as opposed to the normal 1-car pileup that we normally see.
How can
Horse pileup.
one horse pile? How can a horse pile on top of itself unless it was cut in half?
Well, that is true, and also if the rider, ends
yes.
up on top.
But of
Trojan
course.
horse is really pushing.
Yeah, Trojan Horse is kind of doing like the wacky inflatable arm flailing 2-man technique.
With a pelvic thrust to boot.
Absolutely. That is impressive. All right,
Oh,
Uma's
we got
kind of got the
some
chest
infighting
bump
on
happening.
Super Pheromone.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
What
He's-
is this?
Yeah, up. He's
That's-
crashing. That drag is really just gonna pull him back.
I don't know if that was wise on his part. Why
Yeah, I
would he
guess
inflate
not.
something?
You know what? I'm pretty glad that I switched over to that. Oh, we have the sushi walk.
My
Where's this going?
goodness.
Super Pheromone is pumping up though. This could be a power move. She might come up in front.
There
Trojan
it
Horse,
is.
do not do this. Oh my god!
yeah. Oh.
At the very end, it's looking like Gin Shoddy Boy is gonna take that.
Oh no.
Even SeaWorld and Ninja Sniper with that drag made it out ahead of Trojan.
Well, his first mistake was populating his horse with Haribote riders.
That is very true.
Yes.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that we have not, any of us have gotten a single one.
This is 18? 18
This is
on the
18
line?
points. This is it. This is gonna be the game.
Interesting.
Oh my god. And this is gonna go to Sean.
You know what they say, 5th time's a charm.
Oh my god.
Let's go with the Trojan.
Alright, you know what?
He was so close last time,
That
it's a
is-
miserable loss.
That is absolutely very true.
I think he'll learn something.
Alright, I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna go back to Ninja Sniper. I feel like now that he's gotten that, air trip out of his head, he's realized his mistakes.
I'm gonna go with my boy Culkin Jr. Because if you know me, Culkin Jr. is my boy. That's just how it is.
I don't know
Like
how
father, like
your
son.
accent almost changed a little bit there, connecting with Culkin. You almost got a little southern there.
Culkin is he's a southern gentleman. As you can clearly tell by his posture.
Well, he is, I guess, from the southern hemisphere, being in Australia.
Sure, and not to mention the mutton chops on that beautiful... What is it? A giant sea otter? I don't know. It hasn't been readily decided what it is.
It's a sea lion.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. You know what,
Lion.
I'm gonna go ahead and I could actually fact check that over here.
Sea
Go on
dog.
and take a look at that.
I think we call it a sea doggo.
A sea doggo.
In the business.
The sea doggo breeding business? Interesting.
And racing.
Sure. Well, of course, both of the Haribotes are dead now. Again, to be expected.
Yeah, I believe it is a form of seal.
A giant seal.
Yeah.
But look at that tail.
All right, here we go. So we do see Ninja
Back in the
Sniper
race again.
working on his chakras over there. He could be building up for a power move. Now, the Trojan is doing that move that he was doing last time, but I don't think he's going to make the same mistake twice.
We have Chuck Sambanto with the booster, as usual. Something's about to happen. Something absolutely terrible.
Look, here we go.
No.
We get the flying move. Please don't crash and burn. You know what? Ninja Sniper, I really had hopes for you that you would learn from that previous round, but Trojan Horse is coming up front. This is looking a lot like the previous round. Maybe this is going to be a little different. Maybe he's just going to take this. Oh, and it is
ladies and
actually
gentlemen.
Jumbo Fish Sauce
Thank you.
making a return, and he took it.
5th time was indeed a charm. The elephant
And
burst
with
forth
that,
from the Trojan
Sean
horse.
has managed to grab 18 points paired with his 3 points from round 2. Secured himself up
Making
at
it
21 points.
Impossible for anyone else
Riding the horse all the way to victory.
to get up to him, right?
You know, the whole
Is
time
this
we
a
were
technical
wondering,
victory?
what the powertrain was behind that Trojan horse, and it turns out it was Jumbo Fish Sauce.
Sure.
Jumbo Fish Sauce,
You know,
ladies and
when it was really like an armor plating, and I don't blame him after last year's Cup. You know, it makes sense to armor plate your elephant.
You know, they might have thought that would decrease from the speed of the overall speed of the elephant, but by placing wood about the beast, really it just made it so angry that there was nothing it could do but burst forth from its terrible tree-like arboreal shell.
You know, that's
and
true.
win the game.
Yeah, rage. Rage is a very powerful force.
It most certainly is.
All right, so bringing that over to me, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna, for some reason, put my money back on Ninja Sniper. I just like him so much. Call me crazy. Call me maybe.
Hey, I just bit you, and now you're crazy because I'm infected and gave you rabies. I'm
Very
Vulcan
nice.
Jr., ladies
All
and
right, you got
gentlemen.
that SeaWorld going on again, Sean.
I'm gonna go with Haribote.
Haribote, we're going with the normal
3.0.
flavor.
3.0.
Haribote 3.0.
Yeah, I have good feelings about this one this time.
All right. He does have a score to settle with Mecha Haribote, and this
Certainly
would be
does.
a good time to make it. After that big show by Trojan Horse, everybody's got their eyes on him. Now would be the perfect time to strike.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, now Mecha Haribote, they are doing
Well,
this move.
well,
This could be
well.
your time to shine again, Sean. If you do this and you make a clean sweep for the rest of this, I am going to quit the business.
I think he might take it.
I don't
this
think
time,
he should.
ladies and gentlemen.
All right, but we do have Uma there. He does always have that windmill move that is like charging up, kind of like Donkey Kong. You know, I
got
don't want to be
something
on the
there.
receiving end of that fist. All right, all the way around the bend, we do have both Haribotes coming in.
Oh, and they're
Choxen
coming
Bancho
hot.
doesn't really have rear view mirrors. You can't see these two coming up from behind.
Goodness, what is happening? We have the head
he's coming up
spin
front.
with
Oh,
the sparks.
You know, that's a really good move to put the sparks all around. It kind of drives those predators away from
distracting,
you. But we got the paddle coming in.
Oh my goodness. Rowing.
You know what technology
The
isn't always
addition
what's
of
going
an
to come
additional
first.
pair of
Perseverance
legs.
is going to take it. Haribote
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
3.0. Sean
Haribote yet
with
again.
the insider information.
No, I swear. You know, I used to run in Haribote. It was
the
very
extra legs
strange.
again.
Couldn't see a damn thing.
Yeah, you know what? It is that fourth pair of legs.
Sure. Adds the extra stability.
Yeah,
and
that extra weight sometimes comes to bite him on that bend, and I think it's really what pulls him down and makes that fall. But when they make it through, they really do go through.
the paddles didn't really do a damn thing. It was just sort of a slap in the face to anyone who thought they could win.
You know what? I agree with that. I feel like if I was ever in a race with anybody, whether it be a car or a bicycle or maybe a horse, if somebody was paddling the air, I would definitely take that as a fuck you, Sean.
It's Zach, hey.
Well, no, not fuck you, Sean. Personally.
No, that's okay.
I mean, maybe after the recording's over, but you know, anything can happen when with these horses. So Zach, where is that going to leave you on this race?
Well, normally if this was dog racing, I'd be betting on the little rabbit that takes the inside track, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with Culkin Jr. again.
All right,
Ah.
SeaWorld, you know, really driving it in. That strategy
Gotta win
did work
eventually.
for Sean, so it might work for you. Sean, what do we got?
Give me the old Charleston horse, the
All right, we got
classic,
Bean
the beautiful
Shoddy
Charleston.
Boy.
Bean Shoddy Boy.
All right, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Zach route. I'm going to go with Ninja Sniper. I'm hoping you might be able to pull some shenanigans. Maybe pull Sean down a couple of pegs.
We
Teach him a
shall
lesson in
see.
humility.
That's good, because I have no idea what that means.
Well, I don't think Ninja Sniper does too. Being a ninja from Japan and a sniper from Russia, I don't think he understands what humility means because this is an English word.
Isn't
course,
that
he
what
knows
makes
only
it so
death.
hot here in Florida and like sticky?
That could be. Oh, you know what?
Well, this is going
That
to be
is
an
2
interesting
times in a row.
race.
I've never seen this actually.
No, neither have I.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
All right, we got a very
really
congested
anyone's
race
game.
coming on. We're coming down to what might be the last 2 races. So having everybody in the mix is really going to make this an interesting finale.
Man, I wish I could be down there with them. To smell those horses, to feel all of that.
Absolutely, I'd like to
Sweep.
be down there.
Oh.
Oh wow, past the bend, taking it down like that.
That was incredible.
All right, giving the rest of the race just some time to focus. They do have that
look at
elongation
that.
technique happening with Super Pheromone. All right, here we go. He's got the water reed technique on him. Oh, but
And
that's
he'll
not going to
need
help
it.
him breathe
Nope,
over a sea
he's
lion.
breathing urine at this point.
Absolutely, right into that urinary tract.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
riding that thing. You know what? This is the second time that we have seen Culkin Jr. piggybacking off of everyone. off of Gin Shadi Boy, really smashing him in. And with the style points, taking the turbo off of the top of his head.
You know, I do believe he broke the back of Super Pheromone's horse.
You know, that is true, and I think he took a lesson from Haribote, and he added that extra flair for that extra fuck you.
That was nice. That was nice.
I'm for it.
That booster's not even active.
Absolutely. It's just for show. But you know what? That makes Sir Culkin Jr. That much more impressive of a candidate. You know, without object permanence, to be able to remember to take that is very impressive. I would love to be an announcer for for anything, for any kind of sport.
Well, you already are, my friend.
All right, so that's gonna go actually to it's gonna go over to Zach. Zach's finally on the board with 3 points. How's it feel?
I'm gonna go double or nothing on Gin Shadi Boy.
All right, Gin Shadi Boy. I don't think you really go double considering you won the last one, and the last one that you won before that was none of them. So we're gonna go ahead and go over to Sean.
You know, Gin Shadi Boy would have been my choice, but let's go with Chuck Sambanto.
Chuck Sambancho. Let's see him pull out a win. All right, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Ninja Sniper one more time. If he doesn't do it 4 times the charm, I'm gonna be done with him. We're gonna move on. So let's see, Trojan Horse. He's got a steady ride as usual. Now, I think it's an interesting thing. A lot of people think that Uma's rider is actually holding on to him for support, but Uma actually needs help steadying his head. So he's helping him, you know, keep his eye forward. A lot of times when you see these pictures, fuzzy pictures, you see him always like looking to his sides. That's actually his head's natural position.
Interesting. You know, I hear tell that Yetis have very weak cervical vertebrae.
You know what? That's not very surprising. They usually spend their time hunched over. It would make a lot of sense.
It's true.
All right, you know what else had, big trouble with the vertebrae would be Haribote and Mecha Haribote, which is why they are out. Hopefully that means Uma's going to be out too. It's going to be down to our 3 candidates.
Yet again. Here we go.
All right, Super Pheromone's coming in. We do that bicycle kick by the Trojan Horse. Let's see if Ninja Sniper can go ahead and move out from the back of the pack, move up front.
Now here's where things get interesting.
Moves. We got the boosters. We got that heavy up and down movement.
Gin Shadi Boy's really kicking into overdrive right now.
Lost the booster
Chuck
early
Senbancho,
on.
yeah, he does have that thing. And Ninja Sniper with that mat, so I don't think Chuck Senbancho even noticed.
Here it comes.
Oh no.
Thank you.
Here comes the truck.
He's tried this before.
With the subtitles on the screen, I don't think that Ninja Sniper has enough chakra to pull off a move this big. Here it comes with the karaoke.
Ah, yes.
Let's listen in.
We've seen it before.
Nah. Let's sing along.
Again.
You know what? I think the real theme here is going in and winning these things in style.
You know, really, music is the true victor here.
That is true.
Yeah, the ultimate and universal form of communication. And not only that, I won. Let's not forget.
That is true. You did go ahead and you did take that victory over there.
Oh my goodness.
And look at that. We do have to go ahead and have the nice music video company with this.
It's a
nice
seagull, beautiful beach scene.
Seascape. You know, after as crazy of a match that these past 11 rounds have been, I think that this is really calming. It's really bringing me down to earth after all this.
This is the best way we could have ended this series, I think.
Absolutely, but you know what? We do actually have one more race.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. I think it's going to bring us out to race 12. It's probably going to be the very last race of the evening.
Oh my goodness!
Little flash from the lighthouse. Bring us back home. Here we are. I think this is going to be the finale.
This is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen.
The brass are especially
so
clear
it's
today.
Come down to me.
A clarion call of love.
Oh man. You know, who do you choose at a time like this?
Very good question.
I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna go with the Ninja Sniper. I'm gonna go for the 5. So nobody can ever say that I wasn't. I didn't stick to it. Zach?
Super Pheromone.
Super Pheromone.
Good choice. I'm gonna go with Gin Shadi Boy.
Gin Shadi Boy. You know what? Ending out on a crowd favorite, that is always a good move.
And they've got their heads in each other's asses again.
That is true.
That's what happens when you try.
It's really what streamlines you. I played enough Mario Kart 64 to know that when you really get up in the player's ass, that's how you make those moves.
Robin's racing, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Haribote in the back.
Imagine the bravery it must take to tame and then ride a Yeti.
That is
to
that
get
is
him
incredibly
down
true.
from the mountains, back to Earth, in society, acclimatize him.
That's absolutely true. You know, you have to wonder what really motivated him to join this race.
I wonder that myself.
I would like to personally thank the Harabote breeders who take the time to rear these Harabotes from birth, grow them into the steroid-infested beasts that they truly are.
Now, you know what? That you can't loop Mecha Haribote into that. Now, I know that when Mecha Haribote was being conceived, they did specifically say that there were no GMOs involved with the manufacturing of Mecha Haribote. That's actually something to admire.
But that doesn't mean they didn't use probiotics.
That is very true.
And we don't know if there's any sort of strange stuff coursing through the mechanical veins of that
Absolutely
beast.
true, but there is some strange energy going through Ninja Sniper
Oh, we
with
saw
the
this
read
again,
move. Oh,
but
you know
I
what?
don't think it's gonna work.
I really hope it doesn't, because Culkin Jr. is gonna leave us hanging on a cliffhanger where nobody wins.
Put the money on Culkin
No,
Jr.
no,
again,
no.
ladies and gentlemen.
He can't.
He's taking them all out again.
No, come on, somebody's gotta. Somebody's
Come
gotta
on, Gene Shoddy
retaliate.
boy, damn it!
Oh, with that
You've
same
got
move,
to
and
be
he broke the
kidding.
back of that one
I
again.
cannot believe I didn't put my money back on. Wait a second. Is that really Culkin Jr.?
Yeah, it's looking
Oh,
like
it
it's
is
Culkin Jr.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Culkin
All right, I
Jr. took
was
that
wondering
race.
if maybe it wasn't really Culkin.
Yeah, so none of us went ahead and we took that
An
last round.
anticlimactic end to
Absolutely.
a wonderful race.
I
You
think
know
we
what?
should go ahead and let Sean send us off on this.
Oh wait,
we
there's
got
actually
113.
another race.
This is amazing.
Maybe, I don't actually know how many races are in this, folks. We could be here for a little while longer.
We may have accidentally set it on loop. This could never end. This would
Absolutely
be
not.
how
There
we
is
die.
no such thing as loop on this DVD. Zach is full of shit as he is unusual. So speaking of full of shit, what horse are you betting on?
Trojan horse.
Trojan horse. There's nothing that's gonna be more full of shit than that thing. It is huge.
I'm gonna go with Gene Shoddy boy.
Geen Shoddy boy, you
Yeah,
got it.
I
You know
think
what?
he's got this.
I was really hoping that SeaWorld wasn't gonna pull a bullshit move
I
like that and
know.
drown out Ninja Sniper when he was about to make that move. So Ninja Sniper, come on, man, you and me to the very end.
This is the 6th time, is it not?
This is actually gonna, this is gonna go for number 6.
Interesting.
You were in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bouts with the Trojan horse, and that led you to victory. So hopefully that'll mean something for me.
But I never would have gone with 6. Only a crazy person.
Well, 6
would
is
go for
actually my
6.
favorite number. So you know what? Maybe there's something to that,
Maybe there is.
or maybe I'm just crazy.
Maybe 6 is crazy.
That is true. 6 is the number that 3 times could spell us some trouble.
My favorite number
If
is
you-
7
Ooh.
and 13 and 2.
That actually doesn't.
2's a good one. 2's a good one. I like
it. It kind of contradicts with the favorite word, but you know what? We'll give that to you. All right, so let's go ahead and we take a look back at the action. Haribote and Mecha Haribote, unsurprisingly, not in the race anymore. Coming around the bend.
I would say my favorite book is probably Stephen King. My favorite film is The Rugrats.
Stephen
My
King.
favorite food is
Not a
lemonade.
book.
Your favorite food is what?
Lemonade.
Okay, all right. Well, now that Zach has become a broken man, let's go ahead and see what is gonna happen in this. We got this. Oh my God! I swear to God, Sir Culkin
Please,
Jr. You
inflate
son of a
the beast
bitch! What is
and
happening right
blow
here?
it up.
What is?
Oh no.
Why?
Again.
How
No.
could this happen for a three-peat? Sir Culkin Jr., I believe this is what
This
we
is
in the
not
business
a
call
three-peat.
cheating.
This is not a three-peat. There's no way.
Can't be. Gene Shoddy boy.
If this
please.
is a three-peat, we have this on loop.
There's
no
no
way
way.
we don't
You
have
must
this
be
on
kidding.
loop right now.
No.
No, come on, Ninja Sniper. Ninja
There he is.
Sniper!
There he is.
Yes! I knew it, Ninja Sniper. You never let him do that twice to you in a row.
Never.
Ninja Sniper taking the win. That means I get 6 points from that, bringing me back to 9 points. I don't even care if I didn't make a dent of headway into Sean's score. I did, or I am in the lead of Zach, and that's really all that matters.
Do have another
How many
match though,
points are you
so
gonna lead me by?
6.
Okay.
You've got a whopping 3 points, my friend.
I
did
think I'm
better
gonna
the
win
first
this.
time.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, you're sitting there at like a really, really nice. Let's see, 3. You have 21, 20. Yeah, you have 28 points.
Well,
there's not really,
you
a
bet on
whole
the
lot that you can
Trojans,
do.
you really can't lose.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, so I think what is that bringing us down to now? I believe that is actually your move now, Sean.
Is it? Well, you know what? 3rd time's a charm. As
go
I
with
said
Gene
about
Shoddy Boy?
20 minutes ago. Let's go with Gene Shoddy boy.
All right, I think that I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna go with Super Pheromone this time. Zach?
That Yeti's due.
Yeah,
Yeti's
Uma?
due for a win.
You might be right about that.
All right, let's just hope that she can channel her inner Thurman and pull this through.
We just better hope her eyes don't drift too far apart.
That is very true.
Around the bend there.
But you know what? That does give you a little bit better peripheral vision on the other racers that could actually be taken as an advantage.
But it ruins your depth perception, and you might not notice how close you are to somebody else.
That is true, but you know what? That's why they've got that dual partnership going on. We got eyes in front, eyes on the side, eyes in the sky.
Hey, right you are, man.
You gotta wiggle that big toe and make it to victory.
All right, well, let's hope that the Pheromone sisters, they've got 4 big toes among the two of them. Let's hope it takes it out.
Hopefully Uma will really take it to the Valley of the Wind this time.
All right. We got the Planking Trojan.
It's a beautiful play.
Interesting move, the aerodynamic move. Let's see if Gin Shoddy Boy has an answer to that. He is coming up from behind.
I think Uma isn't writing a piece of Pulp Fiction right here. I think it's going to be going all the way.
All right, let's see what's going on. We do have
whipping each
happening.
other to a frenzy here.
That is absolute furious. We got the pump going on.
Got the old pistol.
Oh, Trojan Horse did not make it.
Trojan's out of
Ninja
it.
Sniper does have that copy jutsu happening
on his
right
tail.
now.
The old boxing move.
Somebody's
Come
no, Gin
on,
Shoddy Boy, do
Gin
not.
Shoddy Boy.
Yes. Oh, you took
yeah.
it again. Wow, Gin Shoddy Boy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And with
there he is.
Plant.
Flying the Japanese
All right,
flag
yeah, you know what?
there at the
As we
end.
do know, the
An
very first time we
actual
saw
horse.
this, the first time we saw this, it was actually Ninja Sniper. So,
Indeed.
you know, kudos to
But
you,
not
Gin
this
Shoddy
time.
Boy. Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
actually did make it this time,
He
and
was
that's going to
due.
be yet another fucking win for Sean.
Thank you.
30.
I'm
All right,
just
so
lucky tonight.
so that's it. Yeah, that's
it.
going to be the end of it. I really love that highlight, the very first round that we did. That was an amazing start to what was the finest World Cup I've ever seen.
I
was
think
beautiful.
Sean should close us out on this one.
Absolutely,
He truly
Sean.
had an amazing
You absolutely decimated us. Do you have any words for us?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the both of you for having me over today.
Absolutely.
And for this wonderful opportunity to sit in front of a microphone and masturbate. To my own voice.
Of course.
God, it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
The races were good too. Anyways, it was strange. But strange in a very surreal and wonderful way.
Now, in this third World Cup, what would you say was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was seeing Gin Shoddy Boy ride off into the distance, flying the Japanese flag.
That is an amazing sense of patriotism. A lot of people had lots of flair, you know, with their trucks and their boosters, but you know, waving the flag of your country, you know, that says a lot about your priorities.
Sure, not to mention Super Pheromone's piston horse. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'd like to thank Bob Ross for teaching us all the joy of painting, our fans for watching and joining us tonight. Thank you all, and join us again next time on Co-op Core.
Absolutely, you guys. This is the third and final of the World Cups. Now, that's not to say that Japanese horse racing is never going to be back. You know, you never know what the future holds. As far as you guys go, if you guys played along with us, let us know what scores you guys got at the very end, because your guys' scores are going to be different than ours. Let us know if you won, if one of us won, whatever the case is. But don't forget to like this video and come back for more. If you guys like seeing Sean on here, give him some love. You know, Sean was an absolutely awesome guest with us this time. We definitely, you know, loved having him on. Loved having this experience with him, traveling all the way to Japan, masturbating furiously to all of these horses.
First of all, I want to say, make the distinction between love and adulation, because attention frightens me.
It's a little hard to you know, be naked around each other and not, you know, experience a little bit of love. So with that, we're gonna go and close this out. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a day.